That's a very long intro, but
It's very
it
soothing.
ends so sweetly. It ends so
Yeah.
sweetly. Good evening. It is July 11th. I'll tell you one thing that's not so sweet is some of the stuff that's going on in the Big Brother 24 house. We'll be getting into that, and well, I can't say so much more, okay? Because that's what we're getting into. Let's just do it. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined by my wonderful friend John Dunphy. Gina Morgino is absent on tonight. She once again has something better to do. This is Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast, and we are talking about Big Brother 24 on this evening. Now, this is only episode 2. However, a lot has happened. If you've been watching the feeds, paying any attention there, to our casual friends, I can't even say you're getting half the story. You're not getting anything. You're really missing a lot. So for their sake, we're going to just cover the aired episode first. And then we're going to get into the feed stuff, and we're going to get into the veto results and things like that. We are going to spoil the hell out of things, but we'll give you a fair warning. But we'll start with what we do know and what everyone should know. Daniel is HOH, which seems like so inconsequential compared to everything else that's going on.
Who cares?
I know. Yeah, there's too much else going on. For a show that just started, we're not even a week in, and it feels like it's been several weeks. John and I were saying before we went live here that watching last night's episode, it felt like that was so long ago. Like I couldn't even believe we were still talking about nominees, like with everything else that was going on. Anyway, we digress again. So Daniel is head of household and nominates. Oh no, see, I'm already rushing.
I know it's because we have to get to what's really going on in there. But
I know because it's so strange. It's so strange, like that. So there's so much to talk about, and I guess in this episode really had so little substance. But so we knew he was head of household from the end of the premiere night. Right? Yeah. We did know that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So then what happened like from there? Do we even remember? Like, I just feel like it didn't matter.
We saw a lot of the like intros. They came in from the backyard from those comps. They were having the the usual early season Big Brothers, the champagne. Let's get to know each other. Let's go around the room, tell each other our professions, our careers, and stuff like that.
Yes, that whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of this was.
A lot of it was introductions to things.
We saw the backstage people getting their T-shirts and all that. It was all this kind of pointless stuff.
Now, can you clarify for our friends out there and for me this backstage pass thing? I'm still not really sure I even really get what's supposed to be going on.
I don't
or does
really
anyone?
Or
does anyone?
I don't think anyone really does.
Yeah. So Pooch was like what? What was he?
The backstage boss.
Backstage boss. Okay. And then he had to select 3 people to go backstage with him. And that's when he selected Brittany, Alyssa, and Paloma. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, we are at the point now where we're voting. We're voting America's Vote. You want to go to cbs.com/bbvote. Vote for the person backstage that you would like to keep safe. Okay, so it's Brittany, Alyssa, and Paloma, right? We have until Thursday to complete those votes. Now,
do the right thing, everyone. You know who to save.
But yeah, you do know who to save. You should have known who to save anyway, just from the premiere night. Never mind what's been going on in the feeds.
Yeah.
We always knew who to save. I think we did at least know that premiere night.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I'm murky. Here's where I'm murky.
Okay.
What goes on with these other two ladies? So they're not safe, but they're just there. Like,
I think that's the mystery. I've seen like a ton of theories out there that there's going to be.
That truly is all that's been said, though.
Yeah, I don't think unless I've missed it, I don't think anything else is set in stone. I'm hearing potentially the two nominees will have to vote for who have to battle against whoever is not saved. So the two leftover backstage people against the two nominees. I've seen the possibility that somehow maybe like the two that are left over will have to compete, and maybe the one that loses will become a third nominee. Like it's kind of all over the place. I don't really know what's going on.
Okay.
So
All right. So then maybe I'm not murky. It's just that's all we're supposed to know.
I from what I was seeing, even the house guests were going in being like, "What is this? Like, what are we doing?" That they didn't know. So.
All right. That comforts me a little bit. Good. All right. So more to come on that. More to come. So the episode happens. We see people and they do things.
I mean, we saw the like the early formings of some alliances. I guess that's noteworthy in a way.
Oh,
some final twos.
Wait, hold on. We have a map. There's a map.
Ah, yes.
Hold on. Okay. No, you're right. You're
worth getting into.
Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. So you tell us other things as we get the because you have the notes. I hear your papers going.
We also saw the have-nots, which while you're getting the map up, maybe I'll quickly mention those. The have-nots, Daniel had to pick. He ended up pretty much they all ended up volunteering. Michael, Joseph, Monty, and Kyle all volunteered to be have-nots. So they're the have-nots for the week. And honestly, this sort of contributed to some of the chaos too, because I know that like right off the bat, once these four have-nots were chosen, they went up there and Amira went right to Daniel being like, they all volunteered because they're hoping that you won't nominate them and this and that. And then I think Paloma was talking about something like, oh, all those guys are up there. They're going to be making an alliance to get all the girls out and blah, blah, blah. And talking about how like the girls alliance had to get the guys out. And a lot of this, I think, helped to contribute to some of the like chaos that we've seen in the house throughout the week.
What did you think? I will say Nicole did also make a comment now about this and said like these men now choosing to go in there because they want to maybe keep the radar off of them or stay off the radar. What did you think about that?
Right.
You think that any credence to that? Anything real there?
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's something to it. I think Michael made a comment. I forget exactly what he said, but was kind of like, "Oh, like yeah, I'll just go on the block, show that I'm a team player and this and that." So there's definitely some thought I think there to saying like maybe I'll catch a break by giving the HOH a break.
Right.
But
sorry, this took me longer than I intended.
That's okay. I don't necessarily know if that was a thought for all of them though. Like Michael, I could see that being in his mind because he is such a super fan and like has a whole strategy for the game. I don't think that's something that like Monty was thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, or even like Joseph. Like I don't think that's something that they were like actually thinking like, oh, this will save me later. But I don't know.
Joseph, maybe. I mean, he does know this. He does seem to know the show. Yeah. All right, so I have this map up here now.
All right.
Now the thing is, this took a while because we had to go back so far because so much has happened that every map was now feed related. So this should be good enough for the casual friends. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Let's get our graphic out of here. I suppose that's fine. Yeah, we'll leave that up. This is from our friend, Big Brother Junkie. Okay, so here we are.
Yes.
What we're doing here. Okay.
There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on here.
Especially this early.
I know, and that's why I had to really think about this. Hi, Kite Man Dan. No, he wasn't volunteering for the block. No. We were talking about that was for have-nots.
Yes.
Yeah, that was for have-nots. We're not getting into feed spoilers until the end of this. We're keeping it cash for the first half.
Yeah.
We're
But we
keeping that.
obviously have to address what's been going
Yeah,
on.
we do have to address it, but we got to
So
keep it casual for
that
our
is coming.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming. So this is what we do know, or some of the alliances that were being set up. I guess this was technically right after your move in here. Um,
Yeah.
but this is everything that was really leading into the nominees and everything. So it is good enough to talk about. You
Right.
have the girls, which is Paloma, Alyssa, Amira, Jasmine, Indy, and Brittany, which this was really just born of the fact that, Taylor was hanging out with the men a lot, playing pool and such.
It's so
They didn't like
ridiculous,
that.
honestly. Yeah,
They
I
didn't
love
like
that the
that.
girls alliance first targets a girl, and then
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous?
and then starts throwing
That's
Indy's name out
ridiculous.
too. Like, oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and that was part of the episode. They did show that with Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's your girls. Now this core three, really, Paloma, Alyssa, and Amira.
I knew Paloma and Alyssa were super tight. I didn't realize that
Right.
Amira was like in that circle.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. I find that interesting. But all right. Good for her, I guess. Now this Mamba thing, I don't really know what Mamba is. But I feel like I heard somebody mention it. I don't know if that was on the feeds or if that was in the episode last night.
I have heard this this
You
thrown out
have
too.
this Mamba.
Yeah.
Oh, he says he thought Jasmine was in the core three. Yeah, I would have thought that too. I would have thought that before Amira.
Right.
I'd be curious to see what this map looks like in the later versions because I haven't really studied them. This was an early one. This one's dated from the 9th.
Yeah.
It being the 11th, it most certainly has changed much. So, so Mamba, that's made up of Paloma, Alyssa, Amira, Michael, Kyle, and Monty. All right. I wonder why that's the name. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Amira, really, she gets around, huh? She's in things.
Yeah, she's wild. I also like. I don't. I know this is from a couple of days ago, but the fact that Taylor is even included as that group having her back at any point. I mean, Paloma has just
have each other's
and Monty too.
Well, now wait, the have each other's back. I think that's related just to Michael
only
and
to
Taylor.
Michael?
Yeah, I believe that's Michael and Taylor, and I do believe that was pretty much so. There is that additional note there that Brittany and Michael have each other's back. Yes, we have seen that. We've seen that.
My mistake.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's all right. These maps, they're a lot. They're a lot to take in. You gotta really look. You gotta really look. I don't know about this Tooch, Pooch and Turner. I guess I did hear that, but Tooch is not really the real name. That's just how we like to mash it up. But a secret 4. That's interesting. I didn't see rumblings of that.
I haven't seen that either.
Pooch Turner, almost said Patty. Paloma and Alyssa. I don't know where Patty came from. I don't know. Yeah, and it's have each other's back. Is that Daniel and Paloma? She's a busy bee also.
Yeah.
Busy bee. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been like, okay. I guess I shouldn't. Daniel and Paloma have an interesting relationship, and maybe we can talk about it more a little later. Because I was watching the feeds last night, and Paloma was in the HOH room with Daniel going wild.
We're really almost there. We're honestly almost to feeds. We're almost there. The Smurfs, I've never heard anything about this.
Never heard anything about that.
I don't know anything about that. I would agree with this, Dan. It says, I find it so weird that the first HOH is in so few of these alliances. Yeah, which means you're not doing a good job, Danny.
He has had no control over the power in his own week.
Oh no. I don't know. He could be going out Frenchie style. If he's not careful. This is only Monday. What's this now? Michael would probably be in even fewer of these if he won. Well. So let's see here. Where are we? The Oasis. I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, I don't really remember that either.
I don't know what that is. I did hear this Rugrats thing. Daniel seems to be like weirdly obsessed with Nicole. I don't know what it is. It's very it's actually unsettling to me.
I've heard a few times on this season that some of these house guests were like, "Oh yeah, the second I walked into the house, I knew you were my person."
Yeah, what is that? I don't know. Like really strange, really really strange.
I was convinced that this was Rugrats for a while too.
Yikes.
The way he said it the first time, I thought they said Rugrats. But whatever.
I do want to point out, it's not funny, but I mean it is kind of funny. Terrence, just no alliances, like not even like not talking to anyone. At least this map has Taylor involved in some things.
Right.
I'm
not really sure what Terrence is doing.
I don't think Terrence is sure what Terrence is doing either. He's just hanging out. Well, and I guess that's how that ends, right? That's kind of how that ends. I guess Daniel also said, "What are you doing?" and decides to put him up on the block.
That's right.
Yeah, and puts him up next to Michael. Citing the reason being Michael must be a super fan because he knows of the alleged Big Brother curse that the first person to walk into the house has never won. So he believes that he held the door open for these people now, so that he would not be the first one walking in, and this signaled to him that he was a super fan, and now he has to go. Which, so some people have been saying that he's grasping at straws with this one, and he is. But what else do you do on such short notice? You don't know these people. Like, what are you supposed to do? If you need a reason, I guess that's as good as any.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you see what? I think it was Taryn tweeted out. Daniel has officially ruined the strategy of not being the first one into the house forever.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I did see that, but oh well.
Well, yeah.
So that's that. Terrence and Michael on the block, and that's how it ends. So we're no longer keeping it cash. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end. So if you don't want to know further, skip on out. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. Find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on our fancy website, bbjuryduty.com. And goodbye to you all. And now.
All right.
Now we're officially in it. All right, now we're in it. Okay. So what's really going on is that everybody is going after Taylor. And I was really trying to keep an open mind with some of this. Like, this is obviously something that we've seen with Kemi. We saw with Dominique. We've certainly seen this before. This one just seems so much more egregious, especially coming off the season that we are coming off of. And it's just so early. At least with the Dominique thing, you could almost say, like, I don't know what really happened that first week. You don't really know. We got to see everything this time, and we saw absolutely no reason for any of this nonsense. But I was trying to keep an open mind at first, because I was saying, it's also possible that it's just because she's a pretty pageant girl. Because in the very, very beginning, when all these rumblings first started, it was almost just like, okay, this could have happened, like, regardless what the girl's race was, right? Like, and I don't think anybody has actually said anything directly about race here. It's just the implication of, like, the microaggressions that are
the microaggressions.
Yeah. It's just it's a very unsettling thing.
I heard. I listened to Tiffany, Azza, and Hannah today on the Winner's Circle, and I love those women so much. I miss them so much. But
yeah,
Azza was talking about how, like, people don't talk about, like, colorism and, like, how just these microaggressions that you could be bringing out, these biases, like, even if they're unconscious biases, and, like, it's just this whole thing that we've seen how it's snowballed has just been so disgusting. Like, it's just to see this whole house gang up on this one poor girl who's done absolutely nothing wrong. has been so gracious and so nice. Like it's been heartbreaking to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of this stuff now led to um the talk of her being the renom if the veto was to be used. Um which is exactly then what happened. Obviously because Michael won veto, removed himself. So now it's Terrence and Taylor. Um the only glimmer of hope here is that we still don't know what this backstage pass thing is.
Yeah.
Um And the last I was reading on these feeds was the fact that Brittany was starting to stir up some stuff. And Brittany was basically saying that Paloma was the one who had started all these rumors about her that was kind of getting the rest of the house like against her and also like viewing her in this negative light. So it'll be interesting to see, since this is now in real time. It'll be very interesting to see, since this is only Monday, where this ends up by Thursday, especially with this twist coming.
Right.
Yeah. I wanted to get your thoughts on, because Paloma was obviously very, very, she was really like the ringleader for a lot of this. Then all of a sudden there was that morning that like she said, "Oh, maybe we were going too far. Maybe we need to calm down," and blah blah blah. Do you think it's production because production said something and told her like cut the crap?
I
Because
don't
her and
know.
Alyssa seemed to kind of have a change of heart around the same time. They seem to be
Yeah.
back on their bullshit, but that for a moment they
Right.
seem to have kind of like switched.
I do wonder about it. I could see, and I already brought it up, the Tiffany, Azza, and Hannah, podcast that I listened to today. Like they were talking about like they hope production didn't, because let these
No.
people keep showing themselves, like embarrassing themselves, showing who they truly are. So part of me, I agree, is like, but then also I feel like if Taylor's going to be in this house, it shouldn't be this totally miserable experience for her. Someone should
Right.
probably step in and say something. But
Yeah, it's a
I
tricky
guess,
thing because she
yeah,
shouldn't be this sacrificial lamb.
yeah,
Yes, we want these people's true colors to be shown, but at what cost? At what
right,
cost to this
right.
woman's mental health? This is supposed to be
And it's
fun.
right. And it's clear that like this started, even if you're just a casual viewer who watched the edit, and obviously I guess we went in with seeing some of the feeds and like having more knowledge of what's really going on in there. But I also don't think that at least most of the edit did Paloma any favors. I thought right from the bat she was coming off as super jealous of Taylor.
Yeah,
Um, Kind of like the way she was saying it. Oh, she's a pageant queen. I would never tell people I'm a pageant queen. Oh, she's hanging out with all the guys. Like the way that there was one point from the episode last night where like they showed Taylor playing pool with some of the guys, and it was like I think it was like Paloma and Alyssa and Jasmine just like staring her down. Like how dare her
yeah,
like go and socialize with other people in the house, with the boys in the house, and all this stuff. Like, and I felt like it just got nastier and nastier as it was, and all those little things started coming out, and those microaggressions, and all those little. And it's just, oh God.
yeah. It's really cringy. It's really cringy. And sadly, there's no more to say on that. Unfortunately, like it just sucks.
I've seen people on social media like actively saying like somebody should check on Paloma. Like some of the points where I've seen her like on the feeds, like going on these rants, like something seems like off. I've heard people mention a couple of times that she's only been sleeping like 2 hours a night. Like she's on barely any sleep, like 5 or 6 days into there.
Really?
Apparently like that, like the house guests have been saying that, like, you should sleep, you should get some sleep. And even she's been saying like, I've slept like 2 hours in the last 3 days or something. Like, and like some of the rants she was going on, like they almost just seemed like sort of nonsensical. And then she was going around the house saying like, oh, I've already got this game in checkmate. I've already won the game. Meanwhile, she's not even like safe. She might go home this week. And she was like talking about how, oh, it doesn't matter though, because here's my checkmate. I'm going to win the game, and then I'm going to invest in all of your businesses and all this stuff. And people are being like,
oh, I have been reading some of that stuff and talking about how she wants to share the winnings and stuff. And it's like, that's cheating. Like, you're not
like, it's just very strange. Like there's a lot of strange behavior going on. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff out there on Twitter. Obviously, you're going to hear all kinds of things. But
yeah,
it just seems like this, like like Paloma is just the ringleader for this, and everybody's just following her, even though. And here's the thing that gets me too. One of the big things that everybody was giving Taylor a hard time for, right, was that they were looking at each other's like outfits, and Taylor has this like gorgeous outfit for finale night if she was lucky to get that far, right? And there were other house guests like, oh, try it on, show it to us. And she did that. She tried it on. She was looking great. She was probably feeling good, showing off her finale outfit to the house. And then it was used as ammo against her. Oh, how dare you say, oh, you're going to wear that for the finale? Like, you don't think anybody else can make it? You're going to make it. Meanwhile, Paloma's walking around the house saying, I've already won this game.
Yeah.
And like saying she's going to share the money. And even Tiffany and Hannah said they did the same thing last year. They're like, this is my finale outfit. Like, that's just.
I feel like everyone would do that. How do
Right.
you not think about that? Of course, you all hope to be there for finale night. And if you actually hope to be there, haven't you already thought about what you might wear? Like, that's not a ridiculous thought. Like, that's
Right.
Everyone would have a finale outfit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
I don't know.
So we were in a different space than this.
It was just such like a high last season. Like, it was such a historic season. This alliance that had, such a big, good cause, and they stayed loyal to each other. And we saw there were times that like Tiffany and Big D didn't get along great. We saw X and Kylan have their little thing on the way out when Kylan was on his way out the door. Like, their relationships weren't perfect the whole time, but it's just so sad to see how things have unraveled here. And like, even that point, I know Monty and Terrence were talking about Taylor a lot, calling her a bitch and all this stuff. And one of the big things that Terrence kept harping on was that there was a point where some people had left some stuff out in the backyard, and he said to Taylor, like, oh, should we bring their stuff in for them? And Taylor, like, sarcastically, like, made a joke, was like, oh, yeah, like, oh, they can grab their stuff themselves. Like, they're all adults in there. Everybody should be cleaning up after themselves, okay? Yeah. I'm not going to go around and be everybody's maid, like, everybody's butler. Not. Yeah, like, and Terrence was still bringing it up even today when I was watching the feeds. He was still bringing that up. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is all you people have. Like, just going after Taylor for the most random reasons, I felt like.
Well, it's also important to note here that Alyssa has really been in a lot of this too. Like, it's Paloma and Alyssa, like the two of them together. So I go on to say that, with this whole backstage pass crap, we need to make sure we're voting for Brittany. Okay, I had to convince Tommy to vote for Brittany. He's like, well, I don't know that I want her to be so. And I was like, listen, it doesn't matter what you actually want. This is larger than this, okay?
Yes.
You need to give her votes, if for any reason, than just to get them away from Paloma and Alyssa. Okay.
I feel ashamed of myself. I feel disgusted with myself that I was even joking about saving Paloma last week because I thought it was funny that she liked mayonnaise. Now I wish I could just scrub that from the past of things that I've ever said in my life.
No, you can't do that. That's not fair. That's why all these videos have dates. That's why they have dates. We didn't know anything then. We knew nothing. Okay.
Honestly, I hate all the picks that I made. I hate like everything about this season has just started off in the worst possible way. I feel like.
Wait, hold on. So
my first boot pick, I would still be happy if Turner left, but like,
he won't. Nobody's even talking about him.
I know. That's the problem.
You know what? Let's review everyone's. So your winner pick, I don't know. I'm not loving him. I'm not loving him,
but I actually still think that he could totally win. I mean,
yeah.
At this point, I'm thinking he could win just because of like the circumstances surrounding the game right now. That's the only reason I think that he could win. A week ago, I was like rooting for him. Now, sorry, Monty. Sorry.
Yikes. Let's check in with Gina's. All right. Okay. Michael, aging great. Okay. Went on the block. Won veto. Removed himself. One of the only people to be nice to Taylor. Okay. So we like Michael. We stand a rising king. First boot, Indy. She's probably not going to go out first, but We're not embarrassed by her. She's fine, I guess. She's fine in terms of the way things are going. Whatever.
What did you think of that thing with Indy when she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a flight attendant, but I'm also studying or training to be a sex coach."
Oh,
Everybody,
I didn't think much of it.
just like very like, is that real? Are you really doing that? Or are you trying to like?
I mean,
I don't know. The guys got very excited by this.
I'm
Like,
sure they did.
Do you
And
need an assistant? They were all freaking out. Do you need an assistant? Like,
totally inappropriate. So disgusting.
disgusting.
Brittany, that's aging fine. That's aging fine. I think she has participated in some of the snickering.
Well,
I think she has, but I mean, it's kind of what people do, unfortunately.
Right. Like, you don't want to make an excuse, but I will say even Michael has said a couple things.
Yeah.
It sucked to see that. I guess it had to be the feeds, right?
Yeah,
it was the moment they were all talking about Taylor and like how they're gonna do their goodbye messages to her and all that stuff. Just generally talking about how they're gonna be nasty to her once she was out of the house or whatever. And Michael made this comment like about Jasmine, like, oh, like you should joke about her being Miss Congeniality or something, like out first. Like I forget exactly how it was phrased, but it was kind of like, man. And like Michael and Brittany had a conversation about it afterwards, saying, I feel really bad, but like if we don't say anything, are we gonna be out of here? Like, how do we play this? Like, and it sucks because like I feel like you'd obviously rather see people stand up and be like, listen, this isn't right, the way you guys are treating Taylor, but like. I guess I understand that there's pressure in there, and they probably don't see how things are being portrayed. They can't possibly know. I mean, like how things are being portrayed outside the house, what the attitude is. I mean, they can try to guess. Sure, Michael and Brittany could make some kind of guess, but they're all at the end of the day they're playing a game for $750,000.
Yeah.
It's oh God.
Wow. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So it's a sad note to end on, but that is the final note.
Yeah. I mean, it's this whole thing is just this is not how I was expecting this season to start. It's been less than a week, and it feels like it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a sad commentary. I guess we should read that out. Guess the cast got the memo. Big Brother took one step forward in progress last season, now must take 3 steps back. But they did it without help from the Supreme Court. Yeah. Hi, B. Bean. Hello.
Hello. There's some things that are just confusing to me. Like I'm so curious about like the vetting process for these shows, because I've seen out there on Twitter somewhere, like a friend of Taylor's, I think, say that they got a phone call about like a background check.
Like a background check, yeah.
Right, you saw that?
I did see that.
And like some of the questions that were asked and this and that. And like obviously if you're giving like references, you're going to get people that are going to give you favorable, reviews. But like if somebody's calling these people's loved ones or friends or whatever for, as a part of a vetting process, you would think that the shows and that production was also like looking through people's social media accounts and stuff. And like, it's taken BB Twitter how long to pull up receipts of some of like the awful things that, some of these housemates house guests have said. And it's like, how do you miss some of this stuff?
Right.
Especially because like the cast was so like, could you imagine if the worst cast member this season was Frenchie? It would be a blessing.
Yeah, really. Yeah. What happened here?
And even Frenchie at the end of the day now, it's almost just like a funny thing. Like there are people in this cast, like Paloma is somebody that like I don't ever want to see on this show again. I feel like Frenchie is the kind of thing that if in a few years Frenchie was like, I'm back to redeem myself, I would think it was like funny. I'd be like, oh cool, Frenchie's back, whatever. Right. Like to go from such a likable cast last season to now having a cast where it's like there's only like 3 people in there that I like at all. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah. I hope that changes. I hope something happens during this week that starts to change our mind about some of that, makes us feel a little bit better. Um, it's just such a dark cloud over this season already now, you know?
Mhm.
It's really upsetting.
I'm just hoping Taylor can survive. That's the thing. It's Monday, right? The
Oh
eviction's
my
not till
gosh.
Thursday.
You know
What's
what we
that?
didn't go over?
What didn't we go over?
I wanted to go over our popularity poll.
Oh
And
my
what yes,
god.
and what what people thought. Oh, now we're pushing it. Now we're pushing it because now we're going to run out of time.
Well, you know what? I'm sure that the results of the next popularity poll will not be the same at all.
No, that's actually what made me think of it because I want
Yeah,
people to know that we are putting it up again. If
yeah.
you did not get a chance to vote in our popularity poll the last time, we put it up on Instagram. Just give us a simple yay, nay about what you're thinking of people. Yay, obviously, if you're liking them. Nay, if not.
Should we throw our first one up just so we can?
Yeah, no, that's what I was just pulling up. No, that's what we got it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, so here it is. This is what you all said on
My
Instagram.
God, this is
Yeah,
gonna
so
change.
this is
This is
going to
gonna
change
change so
greatly.
much.
This
So what?
yeah,
Is this from finale night? Like actual finale night?
this is from premiere night, my dear. Premiere.
Oh my God, premiere. Okay, I got BBAU finale on the brain.
Yeah, no, I know. That's actually
So this is
why I
from
put the
premiere
date
night.
on there. Yeah, this
Yeah.
yeah, this poll ended on the 7th, okay?
Okay.
So 94% rating the highest was Terrence. I think that'll change.
Yeah.
88% of you gave a yay to Michael and Taylor.
Yeah.
I like that. That didn't bother me at all. It didn't bother me. Daniel had 81% along with Nicole, the Rogue Rats. I don't know
Wow,
if that'll
that's interesting.
stick.
That's interesting. Yeah, they both got 81%. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until like just now. And Amira clocking in at 80%. That is going to drop.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's
You
going to
know,
drop. That's
I
going to
see
drop.
Nicole dropping too, though. Because
Oh
even
yeah, no, I see
that's
Nicole dropping. I do.
yeah, because
Hmm.
she has been compared to some of the other house guests, like Nicole has not been as bad as like with her treatment of Taylor as some of the other house guests. But even Nicole with some of like the microaggressions we've been talking about. Everybody talking about how they're scared of Taylor or that she's too aggressive
Hmm.
and this and that. Like
Hmm.
that whole little situation that Terrence had with Taylor about like, oh, should we bring these other people's clothes in? And Taylor being like, no, they can clean up after themselves. Nicole like made this whole comment to Terrence. This is the attitude that's going to get her out of the house. It's like, what do you mean attitude? Because she doesn't want to clean up after someone else.
Right, right.
Let that other person come get their own clothes and shoes or whatever. Like,
Exactly.
why does Taylor have to clean up after everybody else? And then when she doesn't want to, oh, it's that attitude. Give me a break.
Yeah, honestly, please, please. No, yeah, she'll go down also. We're going to see some drops. What else we got here? Oh, Monty's at 75%. I don't expect him. I expect to drop, but I don't expect to plummet. I don't
I
expect
think
to
he'll.
plummet.
I honestly could see him staying around like 50%.
Yeah. Now see, now anybody below 70%, I gave him a yellow. If you were in between 50 and like 75 or something, I think that was the metric I gave myself. I just made this up. It's the colors and such. But we have Joseph and Jasmine at 56%.
Jasmine is going way down on the next.
She's going way down. I think Joseph's going to go up. I think Joseph's going to go up.
I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I know he's been involved in some of the, some of the Taylor bashing, but like,
yeah, but I don't. I'm not saying he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna skyrocket or anything. It's not like
right.
This stock is not in buy. But we should see some gains.
I just have to say about Jasmine too. Like, she's done this thing so many times that I just cannot stand. Where she comes into a room where Taylor is having a conversation with someone else, and then Jasmine will just sit down with her back to Taylor, and just like not even include her in the discussion that
really
she was already a part of. It happened multiple times on the feeds today where Taylor and Amira were actually talking, and Jasmine left at one point, came back and just sat in the middle of them with Taylor behind her, just back totally to her, with the conversation just continuing. And Taylor was just like on the outside, like, and then like it broke my heart too, that whole thing with Taylor being like, oh, every time I walk into a room, everybody leaves. Like,
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
But sorry, I took us off track.
No, it's fine. And that's why we're here. It's not off track. So 50% yays to Pooch. I think he'll stay around the same. I don't see him. I don't see a major fluctuation here.
I'm
Because
not a fan of
honestly,
Pooch, but
I'm not a fan, but he's not
he'll-
bothering me. Whatever. Like, you know, if I had to choose yay or nay, I guess yay. But
You know, since we're getting into some spoilers too, can I briefly talk about something that I was seeing just before we got on the feeds?
yeah, I saw what we're
I
talking
don't
about.
I don't understand the men in this house. Right? Because one of the things that got Taylor in so much trouble was that she went to Monty to warn him that Paloma and the girls were talking about getting strong guys out of the house. So literally, just for warning Monty, Taylor has now been treated horribly by everybody in the house, has been put up for eviction. Just before we were getting on, Pooch went into Monty to talk about a conversation that he had just had with Brittany, how Brittany was warning Pooch that people had his name in their mouths. And Pooch immediately went to Monty and was like, yeah, like, I believe that. And I'm like, these men are literally like not believing and like putting up for eviction the people that are trying to warn them that other people are coming for them.
Yeah.
It's like that. All these guys are so stupid. And that was the thing too. Like, freaking Monty had this whole thing like, oh yeah, we hadn't really talked that much game yet, and then you told me Paloma was coming for me, and I was like, oh, it just threw me off. I'm like, somebody's trying to warn you that they've heard your name in the house. Why would you immediately go to the person that was accused of having your name in their mouth? And now Pooch is doing the same thing. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
and it's not even like a confrontation. It's like a weird like conversation.
Yeah,
it's really strange.
Like, this whole house feels like such a mess to me. It feels like such a mess. And I feel like there are a few good game players in there, and like we're not even going to get to see them play because there's just like mob of idiots that's running this house right now. It's just going to steamroll over everybody that we like, and then we're just going to be left. Like, that's what I feel like is happening right now. Like, it's just.
But it's also so very early. Like, nothing has happened yet.
Yeah.
Like,
this
literally
nothing
so much has happened yet. Yeah.
We haven't even seen, I mean, I know it's happened and we know the results, but like we haven't actually seen the veto comp.
But we still don't even know what this twist is. Like, there is nothing has happened yet. Everybody's making like very grand, like, proclamations here. Like, say, now we're expecting all this to be steamrolling the whole season. Like, we haven't even seen one person leave yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we all gotta like calm down. It's Monday. As far as the casuals know, nobody even did veto.
I know. No, the casuals are all like, "What do you mean? The season's great. What are you talking about?" No idea that like we're all
everybody else has already written the season off, and it's like, oh my God, slow down. Yeah. Everybody, slow down. We did not wait all year to write it off in 4 days. Like, calm down now. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's happening backstage before we start. And that's the positive note I would just like to leave on, okay? Because we have to take an intermission because we have to go to Australia. I do have some questions here that I think that we should just address. B Bean had said, should Taylor self-evict to save her mental health? I'm gonna say not yet, at least for me. It's still just day 4. We gotta hang in here. At least find out what's going on with this twist. See like what's happening.
I also feel like Taylor is such a strong person that I feel like we did see her, get really upset and she was crying one night on her own in a room in the house somewhere. But like, I just feel like if there's anybody in there that can take all this bullshit, it's Taylor. You know what I mean? I
I
don't want
hope
her to
so.
have to suffer. Yeah, I don't want her to have to suffer through a summer of like just hate and
I mean, what do
nonsense.
we know? We don't know anything about her. We don't know. I
No,
hope. Like, we hope she's strong enough for that, you know? This is a lot.
no.
I can't imagine being in a situation like that, being completely isolated from your actual support system, going into
Yeah.
this environment, and there's just nobody, you know?
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's been
I
and
mean,
it's really been bad. I remember at one point Daniel even made a comment that I've seen out there that said like, oh yeah, because then they were making this assumption. Oh, we're putting up Taylor. She's going to blow up. She's going to freak out. She's going to be aggressive. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. And Daniel made a comment like, oh well, everybody just can just come up to the HOH room and I'll lock her out. I'll lock the door. Like this is the mentality that these people have about Taylor for no reason because
yeah.
she played pool with the guys on the first day. Like it's literally ridiculous. That's how this all freaking started. Like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Sorry.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine. Kite Man and Dan had asked what these percentages were. We did a popularity poll on Instagram. Answer yay, nay to whoever you like and who you don't like. Who do you like? Who's burning your biscuits? So the percentages were the amount of yays that these people got. The amount of yays. So yes.
And I'll say, you know, we were very pleasantly surprised with the number of votes that we got. So thank you, everybody. I mean,
I that it made it fun. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
people are actually doing it.
We actually got a bunch of people voting, which I was surprised because who the hell are we? But
ain't nobody.
yeah,
But I
people
was very
participated.
pleased. I was pleased.
Yeah.
We're
Hopefully
gonna
more
do
will,
another one
participate
after
next
the Australia one, after the Australia stream here, because I'm just very curious to see how the feeds have now affected this. Because now after the episode, if this, we're gonna know by the what kind of fluctuation we see, who's watching feeds and who's not. Right. We're gonna know a lot, because this episode did not tell you much.
No.
Not at least from where we're coming from.
It was a true CBS edit.
Yeah. Well, the CBS edit showed the Taylor bullying. Well, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I think we're gonna see that there was tension there, but everyone's gonna get to be made to look a little better than they probably should.
Yeah, absolutely. At best.
Yeah. But I can't believe we're only 5 days into this.
Yeah, it's not even been a week. Episode 2 recap.
Well,
but all right, we have 11 minutes until Australia. So for those of you watching, yes, in a couple minutes we'll be covering Big Brother Australia. Right ahead of the big finale tomorrow. Okay,
we're hours away from that, so hours.
Yes. So this has been Jury Duty. Find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or at our fancy little website, bbjuryduty.com. I am Kyle Petty, and this is John Dunphy, and yeah, we're done. Thanks a lot.